Hi, this is Robert Rapier, and this is R Squared Energy TV. On this week's episode, I've got questions about electric cars and about the impact of the Keystone Pipeline on gas prices. So, first question: what are the chances that electric vehicles will be more than a boutique item and will make up a noticeable portion of cars on the road by 2020? I would say the chances are pretty low. Um, Keep in mind that even when hybrids first came out, the sales were quite low in the first couple of years. However, the price differential was not so great, and the fact that people had a gasoline engine to back them up made people a little bit more accepting of them. But even today, I mean, depends on where you live. If you have longer commutes, but there are places today where you just don't see hybrids on the roads. So, can we expect more electric vehicles than what hybrids we see today? I don't think so. I don't think by 2020. I know that there have been predictions that 7% or 10% of all cars sold in 2020 will be electric vehicles. I think it'll be lower than that. I'll be surprised if we see 1% of the cars on the road are electric vehicles by 2020. Some of it's going to depend on pricing. It'll depend on oil prices, how much higher oil prices continue to go. Obviously, that will help, but the cost is still it's almost like a luxury car for some people. The Volt is like it's quite expensive. It's out of the range of a lot of people and more than what people are willing to pay for cars. So I think that's going to be the primary issue. I think over the long haul, I would like to see more electric cars. I think that a lot of electric cars and a lot of renewable electricity has a chance to displace significant amounts of oil. But I think at the price point they're at right now, the adoption is going to be very slow. Second question. The Natural Resources Defense Council, the NRDC, just released a study asserting that the Keystone XL pipeline would actually raise gasoline prices. Do you agree? I agree in part. The reason for building the Keystone Pipeline is there is a glut of oil in the middle part of the U.S. in the Midwest, and the Keystone Pipeline would allow that oil to get out and get to the Gulf Coast. Now, what is likely to happen then, as the glut is relieved in the Midwest, prices are probably going to go up there because there will be other markets for that oil. However, that oil will add then to the global market. So in theory, how much it raises prices in the Midwest, it should lower prices by adding to overall global oil supplies. Now, I've heard some people say, "Oh, that's not the case. It's not going to make enough difference to materially impact upon global oil prices," and that may be so. I mean, you may see a concentrated gas price increase in a small area of the Midwest, and that could be, let's say, 10 cents a gallon, and then maybe on the world market it could make a 1 cent a gallon difference on gasoline prices. So overall, that might be globally that might net out equally, but for the average person, especially in the Midwest, I think they will probably end up paying more for their gasoline prices. Um, on the other hand, if the oil can get to the Gulf Coast where the refineries are, it also has the potential to keep Americans employed, and that would be one of the benefits of getting that oil down there. And so we've seen refineries shutting down on the East Coast. Even if that product is exported, and that's been one of the complaints, is that some of the product may be exported. Even if the product is exported, you're keeping American jobs, and so you're importing oil and exporting a higher value added product, and so that's not so bad of a deal. And over the long term, having that pipeline, having that connection to Canada, and of course it's not the only connection. I mean that oil is coming into the U.S. anyway. It's coming across right now on trucks and in trains and by existing pipelines. And those are more energy intensive ways to move the oil down to the U.S. But by having that pipeline, you've just got a better supply of oil from a friendly neighbor instead of getting the same oil from Venezuela, which is what we'll do. The Gulf Coast ships in oil from Venezuela, where they could take that oil from Canada. So That's a long answer to a short question. Yes, I think it'll raise gasoline prices in the Midwest with the potential to lower them on the global market and to create American jobs and tax revenues. That's this week's episode. Please tune in next week. Thank you.